Welcome to this episode of Talking It Up. Coronavirus has taken over our lives. Humans are getting impacted and all of us are under lockdown. A lot of queries are coming to us on the effect of this virus on animals, both pets and more about strays. Though most of us have got circulars saying that this virus does not transmit through pets, we thought of making this episode with one of the experts in the field, Professor L S Shashidhara. Professor Shashidhara is a developmental biologist, a geneticist, and a professor of biology in the Indian Institute of Science and Education Research, Pune, and is currently on lien to the Faculty of Biology at Ashoka University, Delhi. He is a fellow of all three science academies of India and the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar awardee. He is the president of International Union of Biological Sciences. Professor Shashidhara, we have been getting many queries asking if dogs and cats can get infected and transmit coronavirus. What is the scientific view on this?
First, let me convey my best wishes to all the listeners. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe, and maintaining physical distancing is extremely important. And the lockdown will be effective only when you comply with the norms that one has to maintain physical distance. So, coming to your questions related to the infection coming to pets, let me sort of share my screen. So, first thing is, whatever I'm trying to say, still, research in progress, and you have to take with a pinch of salt. As currently, the data clearly reports a few cases of cats being infected. Right. First, let me explain how these viruses evolve. The viruses have this, particularly coronavirus. It's an RNA virus. That means ribonucleic acid is one of the two types of nucleic acids that is constitute as genetic material in our cells as well as in many other organisms. And RNA sort of when it makes copies of itself, there can be some errors. It's like, for example, you write 3,000 times a word like your name, right? In 1 hour, you have to write in as many times as possible your own name. You do make mistakes, particularly when you are making large number of copies of your name in a shorter time possible. Precisely what happens when these viruses replicate, as fast as possible, they want to make copies of themselves before the host means, let's say, human, our own immune system try and sort of destroy the virus. So before that is triggered, these viruses want to copy themselves as many as possible and then get out of the host. And during this copying mechanism, sometimes there can be some error in the sequence of the ribonucleic acid, and that sequence change will lead to new chemical properties in the genome and leading to a new chemical properties of the proteins which we actually made from using this viral genome as a template. And those are the proteins which are going to sort of do something, whether they're causing some damage to the cells in which they infect, like our lung cells, for example. And also they are the ones which will assist the viral genome to be copied several million times within the shortest time possible in human cells, right? So it's extremely important for you to understand that it's a natural process by which, because of the way viruses replicate or make copies of themselves in a very large number, that number is very important, and the shortest time possible, that's also equally important. And in this process, errors can happen, and those errors are completely random. Now, when a virus has to go and enter a host cell, like our lung cells, it has to find an entry point. What a virus would do is to hijack one of those entry points and then enter into it. It's like, you have a lock to your room, and someone wants to steal something from your house, and that person will bring, let's say, lots of keys, and one of them may fit in, and then the person enters. Typically, what viruses also, there are millions of these viruses. Even then, it will be difficult for them to enter a host cell, like a lung cell of a human, unless they have a key for this. So what happens is, because this viral genome is making small changes, a large number of them, they are talking about millions of these viruses. All of them are trying to enter human cells, let's say. One of them may find a sequence in its viral genome, which may lead to a particular type of protein, which would enable that particular virus to enter the human cell, and then it start making copies, and then it can start spreading from one human to another. During the copying in the human also, it again making mistakes, because again making copies in a large number and making mistakes. And one of those such mistakes may enable for it to spread to other animals. The way it went from bat to another animal, from another animal to human in the context of new coronavirus. Similarly, from human also it can go to another animal. Then what are the possibilities? The possibilities are, whether do we have a contact with other animals? Of course, we have contacts. We have direct contacts with mostly domestic animals, right? Or pet animals. If a virus, even if it had an origin of this virus is somewhere else, when from human, it can still go to pets. More to pets than other animals, simply because this particular virus can transmit itself only when there is a close contact between, the human who is infected and the pet. But then again, the types of lung cells we have, and the types of lung cells a cattle has or a sheep has, or a pig or other one animals have, will be so different. We wouldn't know which one would be more amenable for the entry of this particular virus, depending on also in the context of which type of proteins that are present in the lung cells of those animals, right? So as you can see, there are very, very rare combination in which this can happen. But when so many millions of people are affected, and so many millions of, let's say, pets are also in very close contact with human, there's very likely that one of them may actually get entry into the pets. Typically, cats and dogs are the two major pets, and in that process, there is a possibility that an infected person may transfer to one of both the pets. But the current literature, scientists have actually looked at it very carefully, and suggest that, of course, yes, people have noticed that the pets can get infected, but there is no clear indication that pets actually develop disease. COVID is a disease. New coronavirus, or the coronavirus, is the cause of the disease, the virus. So while virus can enter a cat, but not necessarily that cat will be affected by the disease, right? And people have actually looked at variety of different types of other types of animals which are in close contact with human, and they found out that while certain kinds of cats are prone for viral infections, but dogs, pigs, chickens, and ducks are not necessarily so susceptible for viral infections. But it's still very important that an infected person, when we keep talking about social distancing, not only they maintain social distance between humans, they should maintain social distance between us and other animals. It's also important that we maintain certain distance from our pets, because if I'm a carrier, there is likely that I may actually pass on some of these viruses to them. They would be simply carriers. They may not show any symptoms, simply because they have a body system which is not so susceptible for the virus to develop disease in their bodies, but still may transfer to other people. So that's why we have to be very careful. There's a coronaviruses is a family of viruses, and if there is a particular coronavirus called canine coronavirus which infects dogs, so immunization is usually against that particular coronavirus. It will not be effective against SARS, because we do have variety of different drugs, for example, and also vaccines against certain kinds of coronavirus in human, but they are not effective against this particular. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thanks a lot for your inputs, Professor. We were really confused, and this helps clarify our doubts. As I said right at the beginning, we are proud to have you with us. Friends, hope you have got your answers. Please keep professors' advices in mind when you interact with animals.